Hey Taurus, TT here doing a little unboxing with you guys. I received a Rose Forever New York package in the mail, and I just wanted to jump on before I started with the reading and share a little bit with you. This experience is always fun, so I was like, let me go ahead and do it with Taurus while I am seeing it for the first time myself. And if you don't know, let me go ahead and give you a backstory. Rose Forever is a New York-based brand launched back in 2019. They design luxurious rose boxes with natural roses that last for a year as if being freshly picked. They use natural oils to preserve the roses, and the bouquets are handcrafted by professional flower artisans. All the materials that are used to cover the boxes are vegan, even the pink suede and the black velvet. All of their preserved roses in the special colors like the violet, the black, the royal blue are created through a natural process of pigmentation to help keep the rich color shade that you got when you first bought it. And they are also allergen free. There is an enormous choice of colors that you could choose from. The box shape, as you can see here, I chose the acrylic shape. I'm really fancying this one this time, so check it out. You just have to find your own perfect combination for your home design or for your vanity. It's so beautiful. We got inspired this time because of the case, the opening at the bottom, which I showed you where I put my cards. But you guys, there are a lot of different options on there, so spoil yourself this Mother's Day. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Another thing that I thought that was unique was that the sizes, even in the acrylic size, they have smaller size, medium size, large size. So I thought it was very unique that you could kind of play around with the sizes as well. So I was like, let me mention that to Taurus because size does matter. Like always, Rose Forever did offer our channel a discounted code, so you're welcome to take advantage of that inside of the description box. I will post it at the very top, and I just wanted to share this first time impression with you guys, as I do every single time that I partner with anyone on this channel. So let's jump right into it. Taurus, if you are dealing with any legal situations, if you are dealing with someone meddling in your love affair, this could be your love life or your person's love life or the both of you. I am picking up a mirror energy. All right, this could be laugh now, cry later is what I heard. All right, so this could be life path 1, 11, the enemy in disguise could have those numbers. I'm also picking up 37, 73. Those could be significant numbers to you. But ultimately, if you're dealing with this type of situation, there's a lot of back and forth energy. You have someone that's disguising themselves and being very nosy, okay? Either on your side or your person's side. Take it how it resonates. But what's happening in this situation is they are tapping into the communication between you and your person telepathically. They're tapping into like through readings, divination. They're tapping psychically. They're tapping in clairvoyantly. If you have any type of public platform or any type of means of communication, they are snooping, investigating, or seeing what all that you do. All right, these are karmic relationships, either on your side, your person's side, or the both of you. So if any of those messages resonate with you, Taurus, then welcome to our Love Nest over here on Talk Taurus Tarot. If you're returning, welcome back, you guys. TT is here with a channel message of whatever it is you need to know, or whatever message Spirit is trying to confirm for you on this journey during this time. Okay, so you got unexpected income. Any legal situations where you had to go to court, divorce court, separation court, separation of assets, alimony, all that great jazz, you can expect things will go in your favor. All right, it's about to be official. Something is officially done. A lesson is officially learned. You've matured. Okay, for all of my Taurians that are have really like grown. You've matured. There's things that you don't find interesting anymore. There's certain things that don't even tick you off anymore. You're just completely a totally different person. Then I feel like especially the confirmations are really going to hit different for you in this reading, as this is general. Be aware of anyone in the comments pretending to be me. All right, if you ever want to book a personal reading, all that information is going to be in my description box at the top. There's a 470 number to hit me up on. You are always welcome to text me whenever you need to. What else did I want to tell you? Oh yeah, this Friday there is still time to sign up for the private live stream if you want to take advantage of the $21 question, where you can, get as many questions as you need for $21. That stream is private, so you'll have to text me so I can give you the link. Just cash at me all the information that you did do it, that you did pay for a question, and then we'll get you on the list. It's first come, first serve, so the list is going to go in the order in which it was received. And if you missed the live stream, you can always come back and watch it. You'll still have the link. And when I'm on your name, I'm going to call your name, okay? So why is this important, Spirit, for Taurus? What does Taurus need to know? Not for you. Okay, so, relationships here. I'm picking up strong Pisces energy. Libra, Pisces, Capricorn, strong Capricorn, Libra, Pisces, Cancer. All right. There's this moon. This is important for you because you need to know, you need to make something like completely be done with someone. All right. There is someone pretending like to be your person. There's a false twin flame on this twin flame journey. For those of you on that journey, there's a false counterpart. There's illusions. There's things that you need to be aware of, because there's an energy trying to get you caught back up in this relationship, like to get a redo or start over, to get you giving energy exchange. Look at that, lessons learned. Okay, so someone's about to play some type of really sneaky trick, or they're trying to study you, study your situations, spy on your situation, so they can see a way back into your heart, a way back on your good side. So be aware of anyone trying to butter you up. Okay, treat you good now when they weren't treating you good before. So you're being encouraged to know your worth, and the right person will come along. Okay, love is a verb. So this is studying people for their actions and not their words. You have been learning a lesson about boundaries and how to respect yourself, especially in regards to connections that start off really passionate, connections that are strictly sexually based. Okay, things that may get you perpendicular or dripping. Okay. All right, cool down. I'm hearing like calm down, cool down, Taurus, slow down. All right, so you don't have to learn any more lessons in regards to love. Some of y'all may have like a weak spot, or you have a weakness to a particular person. All right, I don't know what this weakness is about, but we about to tap into it and see right quick, Spirit. Yeah, I'm picking up strong. You have a weakness. Like you go with the flow. Someone here has a weakness. They tend to go with the flow. And sometimes going with the flow is not a wise decision. You know what I'm saying? Because it puts you in this energy of settling for whatever is closest to you. You know what I'm saying? Or settling for whoever wants to give you love, versus putting yourself on your own pedestal, not on someone else's, but on your own pedestal. Many of you already get that. Okay, but sometimes I'm seeing here where some of these connections feel like you could be bought. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be bought if they show you some type of consistency, if they help you in a bind, if they give you some type of resource or assistance when you really need it. You might be like, oh, that's so nice. You love me because you were there helping me when I really needed it. Just because somebody has an expendable amount of funds to assist you or to help you in your own bind or situation doesn't mean that they love you. It doesn't mean that is this pinnacle expectation of what love is all about. It means that this person did something out of charity, okay? And it's like Spirit is saying, like, you're not a charity case. So you're attracting, or you've attracted along your lifetime, a lot of energies that either tend to treat you like charity, or you end up feeling like you were nothing but charity for them. Like they never really actually loved you. You were a project, or you were trying to fix someone up, or they were your project and you were trying to build them up, like build a bear type of energy, going both ways. A connection based off of titles as well. I'm seeing that here for those of you that are put a lot of value on titles. Okay, someone can call you their boyfriend, their girlfriend, but that doesn't, or their wife or their husband, but that doesn't mean they're going to be faithful for you. That doesn't mean that every day they're going to wake up with the intention to love you. Eventually, once the spark and the excitement in the relationship goes away, what's left? That's kind of what you're learning about, or you've been learning about, Taurus, is like when all of the excitement is gone, when it's nothing else but you, that person, and just your raw love. What do you see in that space? Like, what does that look like in that space? Does it look unconditional, or does it look like I'll treat you like shit if you're not able to maintain certain things that I expect from you, right? The title is able to be taken away or given at any given time. And sometimes utilizing those titles as a crutch or a confirmation or a validation that you won something is also an illusion. There's something about illusions around love, illusions around the expectations of love, the idea of something belonging to you, Taurus, or vice versa, because every single person has whether you're married to them, whether y'all have been dated for many years, at any given time, even if you're married, that person can decide that they don't want to be with you anymore. It happens every single day. It's something that is no longer suitable, okay, for this paradigm shift. It's no longer sustainable. Something about these illusions around comfort or security in regards to relationships will not be able to sustain the desires of humanity moving forward. It feels like traditionally, a lot of relationships stuck together out of duty, obligation. They stuck together for the tradition or the value of it, which is fine. But that's if you meet someone that has that same type of belief system, that same type of desire. They're equally yoked, right? So they're not really doing it for the sake of the marriage. They actually want to be with that person, and vice versa. But Spirit is saying it's difficult to get to that layer of what love is about and companionship and relationships if we're still stuck on the illusion of the facade that brought the connection into union to begin with. If we can't get past that first layer, but we're doing things like having extra benefits and showing up for each other in all these other great ways, we're condoning the facade. We are, we're in that connection based off of the terms in which attracted us, but it doesn't get any deeper than that. Okay, so there's some fears around commitment here, and I feel like in both ways, it's on both ends. There's fears of commitment as far as being hurt, right, and repeating the same thing over again, and then there's fears of commitment around getting with someone and being left or losing something that you feel belong to you. So both energies are giving fear-based everything. So in this space, with all these different karmic relationships that the both of you have been embarking on, you're supposed to be dating and mingling with people, Taurus, in a way where you're able to start getting clear on what's for you and what's not for you. You're having so many different, you may be dating people, getting to know people, Getting to know them is just that, friends, having fun, going back to a childlike nature where it wasn't about the titles, it wasn't about if you were mines or not mines, but back to that raw childlike nature where you're able to just have fun without trying to kiss up on each other, without trying to fuck each other. You know what I'm saying? Before they started to really desensitize and over sexualize childhood experiences. Many of you may have had those type of experience of being overly sexualized at a very young age, and there is a false narrative or identity that has been absorbed or taken on, and it's one of the biggest lessons that someone here is having to learn about love and relationships, reciprocity, giving and receiving, what that's supposed to look like. Because at that crucial age, in order to get certain attention from your parents, you may have had experiences where you had to be giving them something, right? You had to be doing, well, what's in it for me? You know, in order to have certain needs met, you had to appeal to them in order for them to acknowledge you and praise you. Those are inner child wounds that are still existing, that is mirroring to other inner child wound people that you bond with. Those mirrors are a direct reflection of what you should be working on or what you have already been working on. And the more and more you meet more people and you date more people or you have more fun with the outside world, it's going to bring back confirmation for you that you have actually successfully graduated this aspect or this challenge. Because this makes me feel like comfort zones, like strong on the comfort zone, feeling like you've hit the jackpot, you have it all, wanting to acquire that. There's some type of undertone or underlying message or intention that's running on replay in your subconscious mind, and I feel like it's unbeknownst to you, your person, or all of you, in regards to this codependency here, this need for validation, this need for, it's not even validation from anyone else, it's really validation for yourself. It's not like you're walking around here looking for attention. This is validating for yourself that you are with the person that you want to be with, that you feel confident, that you can trust that person and allow yourself to really be your true authentic self. Because facade here is saying that a lot of people fall in love with their expectation of you, which means it's how they perceive you. If they're perceiving you a certain way, it's the projection of whatever you want them to know about you. If you don't want them to know certain things about you, you can seclude that, you can reserve that and hide that, which leaves a mystery that at times can cause people to feel like, I need to chase Taurus, or I need to chase you because I want to know what that part is that you won't share with me. I want to know how to get to the center of you, Taurus, because you're leaving me thirsty. So a lot of these connections are left feeling thirsty because of that mysticism, that mystery, that allure. And I feel like a lot of relationships, vice versa, no matter your gender, has come into this connection with you on that pursuit of uncovering that which is inside of you. But no matter how hard they try, no matter what they offer you, no matter the titles that they give you, no matter how much charity they offer, no matter how much money they have, their status, or their level of status in their life, or hell, no matter even if they master your love language, they're never going to be good enough for you. It's like they're all feeling like they're left with you, emotionally detaching, and you just saying, oh, this is not for me, this is karmic, I don't want this relationship. So a lot of you may be in this energy with justice here twice. You're coming in contact with a lot of people that have codependency traits, and all of these relationships are like bad deals over and over and over again. But for whatever reason, the fact that they have this desire to change you, Taurus, or this desire to open you up or crack the code, figure you out, you're shining light. The both of you are shining lights on each other. Mainly, I feel like every relationship you get in some way, for the both of you, it's always a catalyst. It's always an awakening. It's always another level, another lesson, another challenge, another test. It's not, it's like you haven't arrived to that peak. And my question or concern here is, Taurus, if maybe you have decided, okay, unconsciously, that no one is ever going to be good enough, but you still are open to love. So it's like having this, like this Black Widow effect. Every person that comes in contact with you will meet their demise. Every person that wants to love you will fall to their knees. It's like, for some of you, that's a true thing. That's something that's your mission. You know, I wouldn't dare tell you that's not what you're supposed to do, X, Y, and Z, because everyone has their own path and their own journey, right? It's unique to you. But this is definitely showing me that a lot of hearts may break in connection with you. You are the ultimate mirror for these relationships. And it's like, for the both of you, no one will ever do. But everyone tries, and none of them are good enough, you know? So they want to offer you things. It's like they just bring things to you, or they were willing to do anything, and then they walk away feeling very scorned. This is that type of energy where you can make a person go real toxic on you, ape shit, where they start having dark thoughts of how they want to end your shit, Taurus. Is because this could be very dangerous. It's like they become obsessed with the chase or the thrill of having you, Taurus, to the point where they're left feeling empty. They're left feeling like you took everything from them. And be careful with that, because it's something you need to be aware of, because you need to be able to tell the signs, right? What are the certain telltale signs of a person that is becoming, they can't handle their liquor, right? You ever see someone try to, like, yeah, I want you, I want to be with you. I know you're not easy, but I got it within me, and I want to get to know you. You're like, okay, be careful. And then they do it, and then they walk around feeling like, what the fuck? Because you exploit something inside of them that has this desire to break you or crack your code within you, and it's very mysterious, it's very intoxicating, and that type of energy is a thin line between love and hate type of energy, okay? Because they can't get over you, and it's exploiting the control issue from one end, controlling, having so much self-control that no one can ever crack your code, or no one can ever reach the center of you, Taurus. And then control issue for the other person, that they will continue trying even though they can clearly see it ain't fucking going nowhere. So instead of seeing that it's not for you, or it's time to throw in the towel, it's like, you know, I'm just going to start lying because I don't want to lose Taurus, so I'm just going to start cheating, or I'm just going to step out, or I'm just going to have a double life. So it's like these energies, they go from phase one is becoming extremely frustrated that they weren't able to satisfy controlling the situation or the relationship with you, and then they take it up a notch and they move to phase two, which is, I'm going to detach as well. I'm going to mirror you. I'm going to do exactly what you do. I'm going to move when you move. I'm going to move when you walk. I'm going to walk. But I don't really want to let go of you, so I'm just going to be complacent and live with you, sleep with you, continue to build with you, or use one another. And then the next phase is, I'm going to go find that love that I'm missing in somebody else. And then we just continue playing house. We're going to continue playing like we still, like they're in the elephant in the room. And I'm going to play just as crazy as you. So a lot of these energies, you allow it to get to first base, second base, third base. And every single time that it escalates, then it becomes more and more toxic. Then it becomes more and more emotionally abusive. Both ways, emotionally, physically, and spiritually taxing. Rather, when you see it, you know, get in and get out. This is what this pretty much this energy is saying, Taurus. This is like you learning how to get in a situation, see it for what it is, and get the fuck out before that person becomes obsessed and addicted. And then having certain standards that won't allow them to have so much access to you to the point where you can never get rid of them without a restraining order. And then you gotta go to fucking court, and then you have to literally change your fucking number, change your name, go into witness protection. There's a lot of energy around the obsession over you, and the denial that this is a real problem. This is a real lesson to learn. It's like, oh, they'll be all right, but they ain't all right. Because then too, they start to literally sit around and think, oh, you talking to somebody. They start to become real insecure, and that insecurity, they get darker and darker. And then when they slip into depression, then it becomes a situation of, the first 48 hours, shit like that. I mean, these energies are really having dreams of like, if I can't have you, no one can. These are the type of energies, these are the type of lessons that you keep attracting, whether even if it's female or male, same sex or not, the energies are always the same. It's like they can't leave you alone. It's addictions, they may have addictive personality traits. You may see that when you first meet them. You may notice that what brought y'all together was an intoxication for something that y'all both love doing. You could love to watch fucking TV, so y'all Netflix and chill, right? You could love to smoke and drink, so y'all smoke and drink together. And next thing you know, y'all sliding up in each other. It can literally turn into something so simple and ease its way in. And both of y'all just play crazy like y'all didn't know that it was going to happen. You probably already knew it was going to happen, so you probably prepped before. You went and bought them condoms. You prepared yourself for that mentally. But so Spirit is saying you be knowing that it ain't going to work out. But you like, I ain't got shit better else to do, so I'm just going to, I'll give a little bit. And then you give a little bit, and then next thing you know, you got a long ass fucking journey of a little bit. Yeah, this is learning lessons about possessive energy. A lot of these energies can never let go of you. All right? Or live with the idea of you giving what they believe is theirs to somebody else. And then you got a whole mess on your hand. It's like mines, my precious. That's the type of energy that I'm picking up on here. Like the idea of someone else having your love, the idea of someone else being able to take it from them or possess it is really keeps them up at night, where their skin start crawling. They start feeling like they having panic attacks and they anxious and worried. I don't even shuffle like this. It's like pulling teeth. This is that energy of, I'm just going to take what's mine. Okay? And then once you invest into the situation, it's like, well, now I done invest in it. Now I have all types of things attached to this energy. I might as well keep it around because it may be resourceful or useful at one point in your life. And it's just really, it's based off of like simple shit. Well, I don't really love the person, but I get to have my double life. We get to just coexist, or we get to just pretend, when I need you, you come through. When you need me, we come through. It would just be friends then. But this type of energy can't be friends with you. This is why people, if they've ever told you that, like, I can't be friends with you, it's because to be your friend is literally life or death. Just you got 3 cards of justice here. 3 cards of justice. So what are you going to do? Because there's about to be some type of fight, some type of chaos. Somebody is hoping that they're playing the game very strategically. They're hoping that they run into whoever you talking to. All right, Taurus. They hoping that they kind of want to make you low-key jealous. Okay, they're hoping that if they can get you jealous or suspicious that they're talking to somebody at their job, or suspicious that they're dealing with another person, then that will make you kind of like be like, what, you talking to somebody, and chase them. There's this runner chaser energy. So this, in this mischievous type of energy, it's like, I know how to push Taurus trigger points. Taurus has a thing about when something is theirs, they want it, right? And if somebody else is going to have it, some of y'all may have gotten with someone based off of the idea that someone else was going to take it from you. You know what I'm saying? And now you're with this person and you're looking at this person like, I only wanted you because I couldn't live with the idea of someone else having you. So that's tolerating, or this could literally be a situation where someone else wanted the person, and rather than let their friend have that person, they started to look at that person like, well, I think I can tolerate you, or I think you look good, so I can see myself with you. I feel like that is the key word here, the key statement. I can see myself with you. Not I love you, not I feel this, and I feel this love within myself. I want to just naturally, organically give this love, but I can see myself with you. I can wear those rose-colored glasses long enough to experience whatever it is I need to experience with you, and then go about my business. Do you have there's something that is, something's a gnat. I got a gnat flying around. There's something that is worth the effort, okay? Worth the sacrifice, worth the time or energy. So someone may have boasted, and when I say boasted, this could be very subtle or very loud, but they may have boasted all of their accolades, like, yeah, I have a really good job, I got this going for myself, woo doo doo woo, or oh, I'm working on this project. And that mischief energy anywhere in the room is going to be sitting in the background listening like, oh shit, you got this going for yourself, this going for yourself, I done hit the jackpot. So yes, that opportunist energy is always going to be looking for a way to make the situation work for them in their favor. That's a natural preservation of self type of instinct. And I feel like a lot of these energies are the preservation of self instinctually. Who can I call? Who can I run to get me there? But it's not even a natural way of doing it. It's like being at the bottom of the ocean and literally scavenging all the shrimp at the bottom because you're just that fucking thirsty, or you're just that hungry. That's the type of pick me energy that I'm picking up on. That's the type of energy of the lessons or relationships that you've come encounter with. And I don't know how long you've come encounter with, but Spirit is saying like, is it worth it? I mean, a decision has already been made, but there's some conflict around the drama. It's like, do I really want to let it go? Maybe the drama at some point served its purpose, but there's something about the drama no longer is serving a purpose. It's just creating more confusion, more chaos, more illusions. So yeah, running away from the inevitable or trying to delay the inevitable is going to leave someone, depressed, having horrible dreams. Like this is like having dreams of the worst case scenario, having dreams of 1,000,001 things that could possibly happen. You already know it's coming, but you're just like someone here is slowly like weaning somebody off of them. But that energy, the more they slowly wean them off, all they're doing is, it's like this. Okay, all I gotta do is be patient enough. Time is what the clock, the time, how I utilize the time. They're hoping that the time makes up for whatever the confrontation was. And if I have enough patience, then eventually, even if they aren't for you, Taurus, or even if you guys aren't for each other, you'll overlook whatever the conflicts were. You'll overlook whatever the sleepless nights are. You'll overlook based off of how much history you have, based off of how much you guys once had each other's back, or based off of the goal, right? What was the initial goal? I feel like a lot of these energies is like, do you remember the time? Do you remember, Taurus? It's like you got to go through all of that to constantly tell someone and remind them over and over again of why you got together. It's at that point, it's sad. I was watching the reunion. Look at that, 5 of Swords. It's a game. It's a game. New levels, new devils. It is a legit game. You got to know the game, Taurus. It's a way to literally build yourself up. It's a way to get there quicker. These games that are usually played are played as a way to come up quickly. It's played as a way to, I use you, you use me. We're both necessary users in each other's life. Therefore, we stick together because we're using each other. It's that type of energy. The truth. So the truth is going to set everyone free in this situation. But I was watching in the reunion, Love at First Sight, right? And they were talking to this one of the cast members named Paul. And when I watched the dynamic between Paul and Micah, which was his supposed spouse, based off of everything that she was doing, flirting with everybody else, woo to woo, like you could clearly see that she had this need for being a victim, this need for feeling hurt. And I feel like it was like the way that she literally required him to tell her first in order for her to validate her own insecurity. That was very toxic. Okay. That's bullshit. But the part that really stuck out to me the most was the couple, I think it was Nick Lachey and his wife. They were, asking the questions, the thought-provoking questions, and, really stirring the pot. However, she kept asking Paul, she kept accusing Paul or projecting that he was teetering around the bush. When he said that he couldn't see himself, or he wasn't able to feel, this is the words he used. He said he wasn't able to feel that Micah had that nurturing quality about herself, and that wasn't enough. He said he felt like she had the potential to develop into that, but that it's not something that over the course of the experiment he was able to feel from within, that she just naturally embodied. She just didn't embody this mother type of energy. So when he said he couldn't see himself having children with her, or he couldn't see that she would pretty much in this space be able to go that distance, that was his personal observation. So when Micah was over there acting all emotional, like, I don't know how you could say that. I told you I always want a family. Everybody wants a family. Everybody wants a relationship. But everybody ain't doing the work necessary to be what it is they're asking for. So if he was able to read clearly off the bat that she wanted something, but she had conflicting behavioral traits that counteracted that, for that couple that was interviewing them to sit there and say, what does that mean? She didn't embody, or she didn't have these certain type of qualities that you were looking for, or you couldn't feel them. Why didn't you tell her? Why didn't you make it work? That's what you're supposed to do with marriage. I feel like when we coach people in a way where we're telling them that you have to stick around and wait for someone else to learn how to be what it is that you already are, you're setting this relationship up for failure from the jump. Okay, 20, 30 years down the line, when you're looking back on the situation and you're saying, well, why did you stick around if you felt like that person wasn't exhibiting signs of what you were looking for? Well, I stuck around because we were married. I stuck around because I loved that person and I wanted to see them become that person. But did you ever stop and ask that person if that's what they wanted? Did you ever stop and consider, based off this person's actions and behaviors, if they too aspired to become the person you felt they potentially were? These are the questions that, even in an experiment like love at first sight, you should be considering. And I feel like he did that. And for her to get so emotionally and vexed and was like, you're not taking accountability for how you led Micah on, is pretty much what she was indirectly saying. And he was like, he kept repeating his statement over the same way he said it. And he was like, no, I know what I'm saying, and I know what I felt, and that's just what ultimately landed the decision that he made. What I felt like in that moment was, if I was to look at all parties of the situation, Paul was what you would call an ultimate mirror. He mirrored even the insecurities of Nick Lachey and his wife's relationship. Nick Lachey, from the moment he got with Jessica Simpson, he was trying to live up to an expectation. Their religion, marriage, being virgins, getting married, after having sex after marriage, and all those stipulations of what's supposed to solidify a relationship. His main reason for staying in that connection is because he believed that it was God ordained. So his belief outweighed his own intuition. His belief outweighed his own perception or his own ability to critically think. He has that same type of pattern even when he gets into a relationship with a woman that is able to facilitate his desires. He's still basing them off of becoming every single day what that partner wants. So somewhere along the line, Nick Lachey is sitting there literally agreeing with his wife, because your wife is always right? That's what the norm says. And that's not always the case. But in that moment, I feel like Paul really revealed she was triggered. When someone triggers you, when someone else's truth continues to trigger you because you can't change their perspective to think or perceive the way you feel, you're becoming triggered because normally every other person allows you to intercept their mind and control them in that way. You have control issues. That woman had control issues. And there was nothing that even the lawyer that was sitting right next to him was like, don't pay this no mind or whatever, because it's like you're not saying anything wrong. And those are the people that come into your life that are like God sent, that are literally like, no, stick with what you said. You made a decision and live by it. If he's comfortable with living by it, you know what I'm saying? Why is everyone else telling him he shouldn't have done that? He had a good option. He didn't feel he had a good option. Let that man live. We got to stop telling people who they should be with, how they should be with them, and to what extent they need to be with a person. And I felt like that was like the perfect example in that situation of how we give a lot of glory to these energies, male or female, that acts like victims, right? And act like they did not know what they were getting into when they got into it, or when their mask fell off, act like it's a problem that a person even saw it to begin with. If a person saw a mask and they saw that they didn't want to go a distance with you, respect that and gracefully bow out, right? And then when you move over to Marshall and Jackie, that was another dynamic where during the show, Marshall literally said to Jackie, I don't know who he was talking to, but pretty much what he said was that he have a tendency of, he always does this. He said he gets with women that have these abandonment wounds and they struggle with knowing who they are. He literally said that. So that's one accountability, is you're able to identify that these women have a problem. But you, as the masculine, you believe in your own sick way that you're going to be that person that can change them and fix them and groom them and prepare them to be with you. They're moldable in your perception. They're not waste. They're just wasted. You see what I'm saying? So you can take what's been wasted and turn it into whatever you want. You like recycling things. You like literally what's the people called? What's that hobby called where you refurbish? You like to refurbish things, and ain't nothing wrong with that when you're refurbishing things. But when you're trying to refurbish people and you want to walk away from the situation saying that you literally were robbed, is what his words were. He said he was robbed of an experiment. And I'm trying to figure out how you was robbed of an experiment if you persistently pursued Jackie, knowing that one, she was in love with someone else, right? And you kept convincing her. You kept interjecting when she was talking and saying, don't do this, you're doing the same thing, like, I know you're scared. So you're coercing her at that point to not trust her own intuition, to not trust her own perception around what it is that she feels is for her and not for her. So her biggest back and forth issue was that she just had a whole meltdown. She was having anxiety attacks, having meltdowns. She was unsure because here she is. She has one voice in her ear, and then she has another voice, Josh, in her ear. And one is trying to tell her, is not as aggressive or not as pursuing as the other energy. But the other energy is saying, don't do this. We have this special bond, a special connection. And amongst both voices, she couldn't hear her own voice. There are a lot of people in the world that cannot hear who they are. Okay. And I feel like those type of energies are adaptable. Those type of people, they tend to, you know how they say you fit in so much, or you're so adaptable to your environment. Like if you're around someone, your accent change. You know what I'm saying? You're a medium. And people have really made it their business to be able to see the potential in someone else being moldable, shapeable, malleable. And in the right hands, that is exploiting their sensitivity, right? Exploiting their sensitivity to energy outside of themselves. And what can happen over a period of years, you'll find yourself living an illusion under a very deep spell. That person has to keep talking to you. That person has to keep speaking to you. That person has to keep reminding you of why you were in the relationship. That person has to constantly stay so close to you, like a clingy, attached energy. And that's because without that parasite attached to the person, if you were to remove them for a long, extended period of time, the person that's that medium that's so sensitive to outside energy they would start to hear their own voice again. They would start to hear who they are, right? But when you put them together, right, it's almost like society has been conditioned to look for a certain type. All right, if you can get this type of woman or this type of man, you can make them do anything. You just have to know how to talk to them. You just have to know how to coerce them into submission. And that is like a ritual or a serenading process that's been casted over so many relationships, to the point where you literally start to look like the person you dating. You start to smell like each other, look like each other, talk like each other, and there is no difference. You can't tell where one person begins and the other person ends. And that's been normalized as, oh yeah, that's when you know you're really in love. No, that's when you know that you are literally conjoined Siamese twins, and you need to cut that shit off. And this is the comfort zones, right, of the Piscean age. This is the comfort zone of what these lessons in these relationships were meant to teach you. But what the truth is, you guys came into this world very independent. You came into this world stable. You came into this world separate but equal, right? But this idea that you need to be possessed, you need to be claimed, you need to be, you need to have your person or have what's yours. If that's your thing, let it be your thing. You know what I'm saying? Some people willingly want to go, and some people are in this lifetime called to, feel guided to literally go and sacrifice themselves to another human being, whether it's sacrificing themselves to support that human being, be codependent on that human being. Those contracts, even from the standpoint of your children, after a certain time, you don't have no control over it. And even when you have them, you still don't control shit. So it's one of those catch-22s where I feel like we gotta start holding people accountable that say that they don't know, when they literally spend a lot of time convincing another person to love them. That is not a noble thing. That is not romantic. That is not you don't deserve a Nobel Peace Prize because you literally convinced someone from ruining their own life. No, what you did was you delayed the inevitable, and eventually it's going to catch up to you, and eventually you're still going to lose them. It just ain't happened yet. You're going to lose them either them in the mind, because they're going to be escaping their reality, living a fantasy, probably on their phone or on a game or on a computer, fucking someone else, and that's their surrogate life. Or two, they will die early or long and live the rest of their life fucking miserable with you. This is the reality of the things that have been taught, passed down generationally. It's sick. And I feel like I started to really look at the character, the whole archetype of what Marshall was doing. Yeah, he was cooking for her. He was taking her out on dates. I mean, the girl couldn't have a nervous breakdown without him standing to the fucking door, needing to hold her hand. And majority of you are going to say that's so sweet. A lot of hate was given to Jackie because she got problems. She was just, something was wrong with her. No, what y'all were witnessing was the nervous breakdown of somebody that felt like they were losing themselves to try to be with someone that they did not love. And that person was very hell bent on convincing them that they were making the right decision. But no one's going to look at it from that perspective because it's normalized. It's supported to literally have that type of behavior. You know, you're not able to see the telltale signs of something unhealthy versus healthy because you're like, oh, that person is fighting for you. That person wants you. You should be glad. No. How about instead give her some help, let her regroup herself, and let her figure out who she is before you start trying to tell her that she should stick it out with someone. And that's what I feel like that the show did not do. That's what I feel like a lot of people are not being told. And it's not romantic. It's not romantic enabling that type of behavior, because that's that codependency shit. A person feels like, I try to give them a better life. I try to give them the best version of what I felt they never got in their dad or got from another person. I try to be everything for them. You're not meant to be here to be everything for another person. You're meant to be everything for yourself, and allow that person to love you for loving yourself. That's the self-love journey that I see is intended here. But two stable people, two stable able bodies, but that's that deep codependency narrative here. And then it's called loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And then when that person's all mean and you have to talk all stern and be vulgar with that person or make jabs at each other, then it's like, how did y'all get to this point where y'all fighting and arguing? How y'all didn't see that was going to get to that point? How did you not see it? And the truth of the matter is you don't see it because, again, as society, we've been conditioned. If you watch every movie, there's this narrative where a person is chasing after someone that's literally screaming to the top of their lungs, leave me alone. And then everyone in the movie is literally like, oh, why did he do that to her? Or why did she do that to her? It happened because it needed to happen. Instead of asking why did it happen to you, ask why did it happen for you? What about you was refusing to see that you was trying to change another person? What about you was having control issues? What about you? What was that person showing you? You were willing to do damn near anything for something that you know was not for you. And then we make we can have a whole conversation about how that person's stupid and we shame them and, oh, they wanted to be with someone else anyway. It's because we fell in love with the whatever image the victor or the person that was doing the rescuing was portraying for us. The person rescuing someone is not the good guy. They're actually the protagonist, but you can't see it because everybody is under the illusion of that person being the protagonist. So the only person that really can see the energy for itself is the person that got with the narcissist to begin with. That's the energy that I see here. And that's just what happens when sometimes it takes another person just like you to show you that your own narcissism as well, in areas where you over identify with a certain belief system. We all have it, because that's how society was conditioned for so many years. So naturally the generations to come would have to struggle with that narcissism that came from the era of religion, that came from the era of putting on a facade. All right, we're coming from an era where people put on facades to literally go to church every day and dress up just so they could gossip about other people. Think about your ancestors. You go to church, you literally think about all types of relationships. You go to the PTA school, everybody dressing up. They unhappy at home. They go to school, they worrying about what type of cars they have. It was all for the facade. That's where the whole term keeping up with the Joneses even comes from. Yeah, or it's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard to do it by myself. It's too hard to do it on your own, because you don't want to see it. You don't want to have to go the long way. You want to go the short way. Of everything in life is microwave society. So why wouldn't generations to come have the same issue? Why wouldn't people struggle with the reality that everything is built on it's my money and I want it now? This is just the truth. That's all I'm saying. And willing to do anything to get it done. It's like one of those traits that you have in your chart. You could have a lot of fire in your chart. You could have, a lot of air, witty energy, gift of gab type energy. Okay, yeah, it might be good to help you negotiate, get a car. It might be good to help you negotiate and get out of a sticky situation. But when it comes to love and relationships, that energy is very fucking tricky, and it can get you caught up. And sometimes being in a lifestyle of survival mode will attract you nothing but survival as people. And when you had enough of them lessons, you're going to be able to see so clearly. And I feel like a lot of energy right now is really like this Mercury retrograde energy is just bringing everything full circle. Like, wake up call. This is like a wake up call. So you can reteach yourself, right? You can recommit yourself and reteach yourself. Recommit yourself back to your spiritual journey. Recommit yourself back to, successfully working on these lessons, because I do feel like this is successfully working on lessons. I also feel like this is successfully overcoming these belief systems, learning once and for all what these belief systems were actually intended to do, and being able to read between the fucking lines. Read between the lines. And a lot of you have that gift to read between the lines. If you can literally spot out racism, if you can spot out when somebody is lying to you, or when somebody's being nice, nasty, or when someone's beating around the bush, then you have that ability to see the truth. If you can see that, then you can see this. It's pretty much what I'm seeing here. If you can literally see that somebody is smiling in your face and they're actually lying to you, then when it comes to love and relationships, you're choosing to be naive. That's what Spirit is saying. It's a choice. And the moment you stop choosing to be naive and stop choosing to be that mother or that father figure for other people, that's when you're really going to love yourself from a higher level. Yep. That's when you're really going to feel settled. That's when you're really going to be in this stable, confident energy where you'll walk away from any motherfucker that shakes your emotional stability, all right, around what makes you happy. Because you're gonna get a lot of backlash, you're gonna get a lot of slack, whoever you are, about loving yourself. But the right person is gonna respect you because you love yourself enough not to settle. You love yourself enough not to compromise your integrity or compromise even just your heart's desires. I don't care if your heart's desire is unorthodox and not acceptable acceptable by mainstream. It's your heart's desire. You see this big ass heart? Someone could be saying, oh, you don't need all those hearts, you just need one. No, I want all them motherfuckers. That's what I see you saying. Spirit is saying, and you can, and you will. And each one that comes, they just gonna learn a very harsh lesson and be on their way. Thank you for the pipe down. I'll see you next season. Taurus, you do not have to, you don't have to Milstead them as they're spalding along the way. You can let them go. You can gracefully let them go. That's what Spirit is saying too. Yeah, that's what Spirit is saying too. But when you get bored, Spirit is saying, but when you get bored, it's like you have this appetite that tends to be a little destructive. When you get bored and you've been on no contact for a long time, it's like you get a little reckless, Taurus. So come up with a way to handle this boredom, okay? So you don't allow your subconscious mind to run rampant, okay? Because that's when you get in this energy where you're ready to play with fire. You're ready to like let the beast out. This is like werewolf type energy. So my Taurus, males, females, divine feminine, divine masculine, whatever you resonate with, come up with a healthy way to deal with this energy so the energy don't consume you, because you're very powerful, and sometimes that power needs a healthy a way to exert its energy without snatching souls, without snatching random Janes and Joes off the streets and forever changing their life for the better or the worse. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Toodles.